Kelly Springer. Kelly, how are you? And this is always, we love to have this segment and we always love to have the podcast, which is going to be about Kelly Springer and Kelly's Choice. New news coming up in April, right? What's going on?
There's so much coming up. So, May is National Mental Health Awareness Month, and we have the best presentation that so you understand the connection between mental health and nutrition. It is an unbelievable connection, and we've been able to offer this presentation to tons of work sites across the country. And we're getting this out in May. So I'm hoping anyone watching this books us today. This is an incredible presentation. Every single person that we've been able to give this information to, you see like the light bulb turn on. They're like, oh my gosh, we never knew that our gut bacteria was responsible for 90% of your serotonin or happiness transmitter. We didn't understand how carbohydrates and proteins worked together to actually influence our mental health. It's really mind blowing.
And this is where I also, since I made the shift again to eating more healthy. You first started out, but then I started thinking about it. Whoa, I'm not, I am big and gluten free. Even though I don't have that. I see when you cut gluten out of your diet a lot, it's really going to help the brain. It's going to help your energy. It's going to help a lot of different things. And that's again, my tip, not my take, not the experts. But I started doing all these things I'm hearing from you, Dr. Jack, from all my other clients that are in the nutrition space, Laura Ribbons. And I said, I'm going to start doing that. What I've noticed is I'm waking up easier, not trying to hit that snooze alarm anymore. I am feeling better about myself more. And as I said, it's a connection. You can't just diet well and then decide I'm not going to exercise. You can't just exercise and just not eat the right foods. So it really helps that mental health days. And I see it. I'm
Mhm.
feeling it. I'm understanding it more.
Well, when you break down and actually understand the science of how food gets digested and comes into our bodies and feeds that gut bacteria, which are responsible for those neurotransmitters that go to our brain, it is literally like, wow, wow. So dietitians have been talking about fruits and vegetables and lean proteins forever, right? But when you understand it, like actually how it works with the digestive tract and fiber sources being from plants, from our fruits and vegetables and beans and legumes, when you eat those types of foods, they get broken down by our gut bacteria. That's the only food that they eat, and they produce some of these neurotransmitters. So that's where we've been saying eat fruits and vegetables. But when you understand why and how the human body works, it's like mind blowing. Like, wow, that's why dietitians have been saying to eat these types of foods for so long.
And I already see it. If I'm eating processed foods, I'm going to eat more. And then if I go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to break that diet, I'm going to feel it. If you're dieting well, I mean, having the proper nutrition every day, and then you have that cheat meal, you feel it. But when you're not, you don't feel it.
Well,
And
you're right, Neil. And I think that they have no idea how bad they actually feel until they feel good. Until they start actually incorporating these types of foods and understanding the education and how to put this forward, they don't know how bad they actually felt before they feel good.
we have another guest that's going to talk about a subject I never thought would be on a podcast. It's been on once, and it will be on yours. But again, we are not going to say it because who knows? We always have to play it by ear. But no, it's so true, and I think the mental health side of it is energy. If you and pain, inflammation. Let's talk. I'm sure that's part of it, right? Too. Inflammation
Well,
causes.
you didn't even know that you were teeing me up for another connection, but we just got introduced to a really cool technology out of New York City. I just met with them, and it's a company called HealthNix, and we're looking at this, partnership to see what we can do together. So we'll see. Hopefully, in a month, we'll know a little bit more. But they are focusing on pain and how nutrition can actually help to decrease pain, and like you said, by decreasing inflammation. So a brand new article just came out about nutrition and fibromyalgia, which is pain and inflammation, and they were able to show that by implementing fiber-rich sources and protein hydration, that they were able to decrease inflammation and therefore decrease pain. So there is a direct correlation there as well.
A total direct correlation. And I think that's a great point you're making. And it's because you know it. When you're eating poorly, you're going to be in more pain.
Hmm.
When older you get, bowel movements aren't as good, all these different things with nutrition. And then that makes you not feel good healthy wise. If you're feeling like you're feeling bloated, feeling like crap, you're not going to want to go out and do things. You're going to want to lay on the couch. You're going to
It
want
is for sure downward cycle, right? It's like a downward cycle where you eat poorly, don't work out, and you get into this mental health abyss.
And
And
then one bad thing happens, which we all have problems, and those problems magnify.
mhm, yeah,
Because,
yeah, it's all connected. It's all connected. And stress is real. And so we don't want to diminish that. I mean, what I do is not easy. Running a business is there's a lot of stress involved.
yeah,
But if we, put bad food and a lack of hydration and everything else on top of that, it's going to amplify like all of that stress, right? And inflammation is going to go higher. And so I have to really check myself. And I'm grateful that I get to educate and do this and educate and do lessons for work sites and for private practice. Because every time I'm educating, I have to look inwardly to say, am I actually doing what I'm preaching?
yeah. And that's you're always pulling me that direction. And it's funny. It's like, okay, what am I going to order tonight? 'Cause sometimes they have to do the Uber Eats thing, and I'm like, nope, I'm ordering this. Yes, I'm ordering this. No way, no thank you. And it was funny. I'm not going to say what I had on Sunday, and I'm like, okay, that was my cheat meal, and I feel like garbage. No. What choice am I going to make next week? And
Mhm.
that's hard because you want to eat like everybody else eats. How do you deal
Well,
with it?
I think the fact that you really are, we call it like mindfulness, and it may sound silly, but you just talked about how that meal made you feel and that you're more likely to not make that choice again because of how you felt. Some people don't have that, they're not correlating the food with how they feel. And it's until that moment where they, have that whatever it is, we don't have to name names of any foods, but when they have that and they make finally that connection that this is making me feel like crap. I have low energy, my stomach's off, I'm not going to the bathroom, but you need to have that realization before you can make a change.
Right. And then, and you scale back, you do that and you have to wake up. Now I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. But if I had to, so it's funny, I did grab cake and I'm like, okay, why the heck did I do that? It's a habit if it's there. And like I said, with my kids, they don't want to eat as much healthy stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm telling Vanessa, nope, I won't eat that. And I'm like, that's what I'm eating. So we're having, salads with chicken, salad with something else, and it's fine and it's good. And I'm like, I'm cool. But then also right now I have something. I've been straight doing podcasts since 11:30 or meetings since 11 o'clock today. And right next to me, I have some grapes and a little hard salami. There you go. That's my protein and my grapes. So
Protein
there you go.
fiber.
That's the first thing I've eaten today. And it's 2 o'clock. So
But that's where, it's not going to be perfect every day. And I was just on a panel recently and they kept talking about consistency. I'm like, life's not consistent. I don't think consistency is the key. I said, I really believe it's education. And if you understand, like I said, what those fruits and vegetables and protein is doing, how it's going to benefit you, you're more likely to make that choice. But I can't stay consistent. I'm like you. I am 24/7 on a Zoom. I'm in a meeting. I'm running like crazy. Consistency is not something that I can do. I don't have the same schedule every day. And so I feel like it's more in the way of education and being able to work with a dietitian too helps you to stay on track. It does. It does.
no,
And
Tully, it's the perfect thing. And I get a
mhm.
dietitian every week. I get a doctor every week. I get, an expert in every area. I'm very lucky
It
as
is,
as a radio host, podcaster, TV. I get to get all these experts
yeah.
and then add AI to the mix, and I'm all good. I have a lot of
You're
knowledge.
learning. You've learned though. I mean, you really have from seriously from the time we started working together to where you are now. Each time we're together, you're learning a little bit more. You're putting those practices into place. And it's, again, I don't think it's about consistency. I think it really truly is about making a better choice every single time you can.
Because you never know what is the best choice. Now let's kind of delve into what else is new with Kelly's choice this month. You talked about some partnerships. You talked about that talk on mental health. We could have another podcast on mental health any day, any
Yes.
week. And our second gut, and you talked about it. People need to go see the talk. And I'm sure we got to say, well, why aren't these talks on your YouTube channel? We got to talk about that and live to everyone, but or you'll need to create your own on YouTube. But gut health, our second brain is our gut. And that's something people don't know. And I know you teach that all the time. But let's go to some other topics. What else is new?
So, doing a lot of book signings, which is really fun. It's kind of awkward. It feels like I'm kind of at like a baby shower or something. I've never written a book before, so signing the books and all that. But it is really fun to see how we can hand information to people, and they'll have this tangible thing in their hands that they can go back again and again and reread the different topics that we go over in the book. And the book is The New Weight Loss Era, and weight loss is not new. And that's why we called it The New Weight Loss Era, where we are today with the weight loss medications, the different choices that you have available to you. But again, it still goes back to education. And that's why in this book, we actually set it up in the transformation program of week to week. You have different education and challenges from nutrition, exercise, and hydration that build on each other so that we take you through carbohydrates and proteins and fats so you understand the basics and are able to put those lessons into play.
And those lessons are important. They're very important to making it happen. Other news. That's cool. I think that's awesome to do book signings. And then you could really give people the tips they need. Anything else going on new?
There's a lot of new things. There could be some future partnerships that are coming up with some medically tailored meal companies. So more to come with that. But the 1115 waiver for New York State is going to get kicked off in the next couple of weeks here. That's going to give us access to people with Medicaid in the state of New York to be able to give them nutrition education and to recommend medically tailored meals so that people can get incredible quality food right to their door. So really excited to see over this next month of how that waiver comes into place, who we're able to serve, and to be able to show how with nutrition information and this food, we're able to combat chronic disease.
All right, best place to go
KellysChoice.org.
and pick up the book. Go ahead, show
Yeah.
us it again. Show the book.
Yes, you can get the New Weight Loss Era right on Amazon, and make sure to leave some really great uh, testimonials on there. We want some feedback, which would be great. Everyone that has read it has really learned a lot. It is brought down to layman's terms. You're not going to get a lot of science in there. We do couple it with some research articles, but really, truly, it is a guide to take you through nutrition, and so you understand it fully.
All right, thanks, Kelly. All right, that was a